All right, men, welcome to today's episode of Strong Men, Strong Marriages. For the new year, we're going to call it Strong Men in God. I decided. I was thinking grounded in God, but I like Strong Men in God better. That's what we're going to go with, Strong Men in God. And yeah, it's about really drawing our strength from God, in God, having that relationship great so that we can then go out and really succeed beyond anything we could have imagined with ourselves, with our families, with our work, and just go out and do great things in the world. So today we're going to talk about how to be the strong support that your family needs. Now, a lot of us men, what we do is we think, okay, the way to do that is mainly financial. And that's kind of the main way that we provide. But kind of at the end, I'm going to give you a quote from Preston and Alexi. So Preston Smiles and his wife Alexi, who are really great, have taught me a lot of things, and a different definition of what the family really needs from the man, from the husband, from that masculine energy. I'm excited to share it with you. So my name is Mike Fraser, MD. I'm a psychiatrist and men's coach, helping high-achieving Christian men. We're going to open it up too. Like if you're not Christian, if you just believe in God or want to believe in God and you're exploring that, just open to the idea that there's something bigger out there, that connecting to that is going to be more powerful. Now, as a Christian guy, we believe that's Christ, Jesus, the vine, right? Like he's the vine, we're the branches. But if you're just kind of exploring, trying to figure that out, welcome to. We'll respect you. You respect the people that are Christian faith, and we'll go from there. So anyway, kind of long intro, but kind of a transition time for me right now that I'm excited about, and hope you're excited about too. So wins from guys in my program, but we'll just start calling it the Strong Men in God program, grounded leadership program. Guys are supporting their wife and kids through difficult times, being able to help them be that strong support that their family needs. Admitting wrongs and apologizing, man, like a lot of times it takes a lot of strength to do that, to see we've gone wrong, to make that adjustment. To really be able to do that, we have to kind of be okay with ourselves and understand we're going to make mistakes, still have our own back, still understand God has our back. That lets us admit wrongs easier, lets us apologize better. Guys are breaking free from old negative patterns of codependency. Man, that's a hard one to get out of, because you really have to have your own back to be able to do that and kind of risk your wife's dysregulation, her frustration, her wrath, her anger, right? And you being able to still be okay. That's what that takes. And that's a lot of what we're talking about today. The guys are feeling a lot closer to God, which we need that. If we're good with God, whatever's going on with our family, we can kind of tolerate it a little easier. For me, my son and my wife are noticing and are grateful for my positive changes, because I've been more in this spot, right? More grounded, more green and grounded. I like to call it. I'm sure all the names will shift over time, but just I've been able to be more of this support, this more safe place, and they feel it, right? And I feel it, and just things are a lot better. So what I want you to do a little quiz for yourself about right now is like, how well can you name the emotions that you feel through a day? So like today, when you woke up, how did you feel? A lot of guys will just say like, fine. Fine isn't really an emotion. Like even saying how you feel in your body. Oh, my body felt calm, felt relaxed, felt warm, felt cold. I kind of had a uncomfortable feeling in my chest that, not like pain that would be like a heart attack, but just like some discomfort, those maybe like anxiety. So most guys don't pay attention to any of that, right? They just kind of go out and start saying, okay, like I gotta get this and this done, which is fine. Like it's fun to get things done. But also, and important, but also like this is the piece that most guys I feel like are missing, that we want to get good at, is being able to tune into our bodies and be a safe place. This is what we need, right? To be a safe place for ourselves, for our families. Okay, like how about this? How many emotions can you name, period? Okay. I feel like most guys are like, I don't know, like happy, sad, mad, anxious. Yeah, that's about it. Fear, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, calm, peaceful, open, excited, right? I've expanded my vocabulary by doing some of the things I'm going to recommend to you guys. Before, like I would have stopped at like 3 or 4 too. So how about this? Like if you, or like, well, yeah, Mike, I can name a bunch of emotions. Like when was the last time that you named an emotion that you actually felt in the moment? Hey, I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling upset. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling sad today. I'm feeling kind of down. I'm feeling low energy. I'm feeling defeated, right? Probably you haven't done that very much if you're like most guys. Let's say you did. Like, what did you do after you named that emotion? So for a lot of guys, maybe they'll admit when they're angry, well, I'm mad, and now you need to change, right? And this is where we get into trouble, right? This is where I've gotten into trouble in my family a million times, that I'm starting to understand, oh, like maybe it's on everybody else to change. Maybe it's on me to learn how to soothe myself and manage that emotion and calm myself down, so that then my thinking brain can come online, my creative brain, I can connect with God, be in that creative mode, and come and solve problems from that creative open space. That podcast I listened to with Preston and Alexi talked about like being, I forgot what they said, like being in flow or in the, I forgot what it is, but to me it's connected to God, right? And connected to the Spirit. So when you're there, yeah, you're more open, you're more receptive, like you can, new ideas come, right? But you can't get there if you're pissed off, if you're screaming at your kids, if you're screaming at your wife, if you're super resentful, if inside you're like, oh, everybody, this isn't fair. You know, I felt all of that, all of those things, but it's not on everybody else to change. It's on you to soothe that and then go out and kind of problem solve, right? Now, not to complicate things, but sometimes you can ask other people to help soothe you. Hey, could you give me a hug? Could you hold my hand? Could you just kind of be with me right now? I'd really appreciate it, right? Other people can help you feel more soothed, 100%. But at the end of the day, it is your responsibility, right? It's not everybody else's job to change so that you can be okay inside. I used to think that really, maybe more unconsciously than consciously, that, you know, everybody else had to change so I could be okay. Right? And look, I was pretty good at making people around me change by persuasion outside the family, by kind of force inside the family. And so, you know, it got me pretty far, but now it's causing me problems. So I've kind of forced a change, but I think that is good. That's growth, right? So yeah, again, for most guys, you probably can't name the emotions you feel. You probably can maybe name a couple emotions. You probably have never or very rarely named an emotion that you felt. And after you named it, you probably either pushed it down, right? A lot of guys will do that too. Said, I shouldn't feel that way. Oh, I shouldn't feel jealous. I shouldn't feel upset. Oh, yeah, great job. You got the promotion I wanted. Oh, yeah, yeah, good job. But you don't just say to yourself, oh, actually, I'm jealous of that. You know, I wish that would have been me. I'm sad that happened, right? And then kind of take care of yourself for a little bit. You know, just tend to it, right? Tend to that like you would a younger kid, right? Although when you have the mindset that you should push all your emotions away, even to your younger kids, you teach them the same thing instead of teaching them to take care of it, tend to that emotion. So that's what we want to get good at, right? For a lot of guys, when they feel mad, they try to make other people change. That was me for sure. With sadness, they might push it away, thinking, oh, real men don't cry. You know, forget about it. Oh, I didn't get that job. Oh, forget about it. Work harder next time, right? If you're feeling defeated, well, pick yourself up. Stop feeling defeated, right? Stop throwing yourself a pity party. Get out of that, right? Pick yourself up, get going, right? You're tired, who cares? Go work harder, right? That's been the masculine mindset I've subscribed to. I think most guys have subscribed to, high achieving guys have subscribed to. It does actually help you accomplish a lot, but not from a place that's very good, very peaceful, and it causes problems in your family, okay? Or if you're jealous, you don't admit it, you say the opposite. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous of him. They should be jealous of me, right? Even the funny thing is, when I was listening to this podcast, I felt jealous of them, right? I was like, oh man, these guys are doing something similar to what I'm doing. They seem to be a lot more successful at it than I've been. So I was, I was feeling jealous. But what I did was, starting to learn some of these things, getting a few reps in, was say, oh, I'm feeling jealous of them, right? And just let myself feel that way. And I was like, okay, well, then I was just okay, right? And then I was able to actually listen and learn from them and see like, hey, we're in this together, and understand like, if I'm jealous of someone, maybe I can use that, right? Maybe I can use that. Hey, like, what have they done? What can I learn from them? That kind of thing. Okay. Frustration. I'm frustrated something. I might get passive aggressive, so I'm mad my wife doesn't have sex with me. I stop doing the dishes, right? Get passive aggressive. Instead of just saying, oh, I'm frustrated, right? Tending to it, then having a calm discussion with her, a direct discussion, a kind and direct discussion with her. Again, like a lot of times people say the opposite. Oh, you look frustrated. I'm not frustrated. You look mad. I'm not mad. and other ones to not notice the emotions at all, push them away, right? But again, like the problem is if you can't soothe yourself through difficult emotions, you think everyone else has to change around you, right? So if you're mad, like your kid talks back to you, oh, you better stop doing that, right? Resentful, yeah, my wife needs to start having sex with me so I don't resent her. Okay. Fear, you start avoiding situations that you should go into. So yeah, like if you need to tell your wife that you've had an affair, right? That's scary. And if you don't like admit that and tend to that fear, okay, you're just going to avoid it so you don't feel afraid, right? Or, you want to ask for a promotion, or you want to start your own business, right? Those are all scary things. If you just like don't recognize they're scary and tend to that emotion, you'll avoid it, or you'll go into it recklessly without like taking appropriate precautions. So you want to find that balance, which is only done once you can soothe yourself through those emotions, come to a place you can connect to God and be in that creative, open mindset, okay? So what we need to do is get good at this, right? And maybe you didn't get much soothing growing up. Maybe you got a lot of the messaging of big boys don't cry, suck it up, pick yourself up, right? And even if your parents offered it, maybe you just wanted to reject it to be more of a man. I think really like both my parents probably would have been great at like soothing me if I needed it, but I like internally kind of felt like I needed to do it myself. Now there's some other stuff that happened at younger ages that made me think, oh, maybe I can't really do that, which I've had to uncover through my own therapy and stuff. But bottom line is like we need to be able to soothe ourselves, right? Because look, it's costing you, it's costing me not doing this. So like how many reps do you have at soothing yourself through emotions right now? Like if you can count in the last few days, how many times did you have a tough emotion and kind of soothe yourself through it to where you could go from feeling uncomfortable. I like using red, yellow, green, like in that yellow, kind of uncomfortable, or red, like really upset, phase, not thinking straight at all. Were you able to kind of calm yourself back to that green zone, calm, connected with God, open, thinking, creative place? Okay. How many times have you done that? For most guys, it's probably zero, honestly. For me, I would say now it's probably like 40 to 50 times total, right? Which is not a lot. And most of those are in these past few months. But I'll tell you that even after 40 or 50 reps, like I feel way more confident doing it. And my family is totally noticing a difference, right? Because now they don't feel on edge. They don't feel like they have to be the ones changing. They say, oh, Dad can kind of take care of himself. Maybe even I could get some comfort from him. My wife, maybe even I could get some comfort from him, right? Where before it's like, dude, this guy can't even handle himself. How is he going to be able to be there for me, right? That's actually the correct thinking from them. So, and what's cool, again, I'm 40 or 50 reps in. It's not that many, but already I'm feeling more safe to my family, right? And that's awesome. So what does a rep actually look like? So what it looks like is, you notice something going on in your body, a feeling, okay? So I'll give an example, this is a few weeks ago. So my kids were playing soccer in the house. I'd asked them not to. They kicked it super hard. I told them to stop. He talked back to me, okay? So I felt in my body anger, right? What did I feel? It feels hot in my chest. It rises up to my neck, throat, okay? I didn't necessarily name it, but I could have named it, but I paid attention to it, right? Okay, like I feel this. This tells me I've got to get out of here, okay? I need to tend to this. So for me in this particular situation, I walked out, took a little run, hit a punching bag, right? Got to a place where I was green, grounded, calm, comfortable. I still am not, it's not like I'm going to not deliver consequences, right? I'm just going to deliver them from a place that is calm, connected to God, creative, right? Collaborative with my kids, where I can actually, if they start getting upset, I'm not going to get upset back, right? I'm going to be able to stay calm and be that space for them. One of the conferences I went to, they talked about masculine energy being like kind of squatting down and like holding, like your arms are like holding things. So, I can hold their emotions. I can contain that, right? Because I'm feeling grounded in myself, connected to God, creative, open, right? So that's what a rep looks like. I tended to it. It was okay. Turned out great. Didn't take that long, probably 10, 15 minutes. But that was another time that my oldest son actually went and like told my wife, hey, I was like proud of Dad. He did a good job basically managing, tending to his own emotions, right? Not taking it out on everybody else, okay? So that's what tending looks like. Okay. So you get to that good spot, you come back and you problem solve when you're creative, connected to God, all of that. And look, you won't be perfect. You're going to have times where you do kind of flip out, right? Where you didn't tend to the emotion, where you have to tend to it later, where you need to go back and apologize. Hey, I let my emotions get the better of me there. That wasn't right. Like, sure, you did something that frustrated me, but it's my job to tend to that emotion. It's my job to soothe myself. It's my job to calm myself down, right? It's not your job to not do anything that will make me upset. It's my job to act in a way that is calm, connected, direct, boundaried, right? All of that, okay? And now your kids start feeling like, oh, okay, yeah, now we're safe, right? So I really liked a quote from this podcast, like, what is a high quality man? They asked, the host asked these guys. So Alexi Panos is the wife's last name. She said, women can do pretty much everything for themselves, except they can't provide a masculine, safe home to land in for themselves. And I was like, oh, yeah, I like that. So, we talk about a man being a provider. And look, for me, I've looked at that as financial basically 100% for most of my life. It really is just kind of cracking open a little bit that maybe providing something else is more important. And I really like how she said that. She said, what a woman wants from a man. And she was asking, like, what's a high value man was the question. She's like, well, a high value man, provides emotional safety, provides a feeling that he's on her team, right? Provide that she can feel his devotion. Okay. That's what, a man can provide to a high quality woman. And that creates a home in him. Okay. Beautiful. So well said. She also said, it's a man who's connected to his heart, landed in his body, and feels safe within himself, such that he can provide safety for his woman and his family. Also beautifully said, right? Connected to your heart, so understand what my emotions are. Landed in his body, you understand what's going on emotionally and physically in yourself, and safe within yourself, so you can provide safety for his woman and his family. A lot of this has to do, I believe, with inner child healing and kind of going through that process, so you can feel like you've got yourself, okay? So yeah, like if you check with yourself, are you connected to your heart, to your emotions, right? Are you leading with your heart? Are you connected to your body, okay, your emotional expressions? Do you feel comfortable and safe in yourself and in your emotions? You can provide that safety for other people, okay? So, where do you land on that? If you haven't done this like directly, you're probably not very good at it, is the truth, right? I'm relatively new to this, really, but it's making the biggest difference out of everything I've done so far. I've tried a lot of stuff. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, I've been doing it for, a few years now, but I feel like this has moved the needle probably more than anything else. And I'm excited because now I get to share it with you guys. So Preston also said this, which was awesome. I really love this mindset. He says, in a world of 8 billion souls, I count myself incredibly fortunate. I have the unique privilege to help my wife heal her nervous system, to love her in a way that allows her to reclaim herself from the shadows of her past. No matter what she's endured, childhood trauma, the pain of assault, life's trials, I get to be the one who holds her, supports her, and helps her feel truly herself again. Man, beautifully said, right? And that's a really good way for me to see my wife, right? Who has had really terrible trauma. Can I be that guy? I haven't been, is the bottom line, right? And it was cool because last night I was kind of sharing this with her and like, hey, makes sense. I haven't really provided that emotional safety in a lot of way. I haven't been in your teams in a lot of way. And she like quickly jumped in and corrected me. She's like, but you have been lately. I was like, oh man, thank you. Like that felt so great to hear. That just goes to show, like when you start making these changes, like things can change pretty quick, right? And they might not, right? Your wife may not be ready to make that shift, but what I really believe is that, and they were saying this in the podcast, and I believe it, like there's an energetic change that happens in you that people can sense, right? When you have you're genuinely that green, connected to God, open, comfortable, strong and connected to God space, strong and calm. It's both, right? You're not going to get run over. You're strong, calm, and grounded. People sense it, right? And they like it. And they like to be around it. And they feel comfortable in it. That's your job as a man. Be that spot for your wife and kids. So you can't do it unless you feel safe within yourself. You can't do it unless you can soothe yourself. So let's learn how to do it. Let's get our reps in what's going to be called Strong Men in God Grounded Leadership, okay? It's going to open at the end of January for you to sign up. Classes start February 2026. Join the email list to be notified. I've gone back and forth about this a lot, but this is how I'm going to do it. So be on the email list. You're getting an email invite to join at the end of January. This first class, still deciding 100% on the cost. It's probably going to be $2,000 for a 12-week class. We get our first group in, teach the class live, and really go through this in a different way and really focus on getting these reps in, being green and grounded, being connected to God, strong in God, right? Not by yourself, with God, not just all heavy, but leading with our hearts, right? So visit strongmen.io, join the email list, and come join us, and we will see you soon. Stay strong in God, men. We will see you next episode.